another episode of Project Management under IFRS 17. I am your host Satish. Today we are diving deep into IFRS 17 Project Management. Joining me today is Mohammad Usman Tariq, who is a seasoned expert in IFRS 17 Project Management and has deep insights in regulatory changes in the industry. Together, we'll explore today the challenges being faced in IFRS 17 project implementation and how it is affecting the various auditing teams. Could you please tell us what issues and problems you faced in managing IFRS 17 projects?
I must open my podcast by saying that project management is one of the toughest things in the world of IFRS 17. And there are two reasons for it. One reason is that standard is complex, it is a difficult standard, and people have lesser depth of knowledge about IFRS 17. So when someone is comfortable with a topic or a subject, he can anticipate what questions can be asked to him. But in IFRS 17, this is not true. There is a huge depth, huge breadth of the subject, and questions can go in any range. So I can safely say that IFRS 17 beats every boundary of your comfort zone, and even the questions that are posed to consultants or experts, it is not very straightforward for them to answer those questions. This was the first point, and the second reason I'll move to is that people involved, those who are involved in IFRS 17 implementations or those who will be involved in IFRS 17 implementations at any point of time, they have to defend their role and their position in that, no matter it's CFO, it's IT manager, or it's a consultant. So whenever he will talk to the management or someone will talk to the management among them, he will try to express that he has good knowledge of IFRS 17. His knowledge is covering a good depth of IFRS 17. But honestly, while implementations or IFRS 17 implementations, it was not the case. So people were panicking, and every single person was nervous about the deadline.
I'm a little confused. How do you connect these problems with project management?
Sure. I'll connect these 2 points with project management. So when people don't have greater depth of knowledge and they try to prove themselves, in that case, things either don't progress or they end up at a bad note with blame game. In both the cases, what you need to do is you need to keep track of things, and that is where when the role of project management triggers.
Please enlighten us by shedding some light on when things don't progress.
When things don't progress, it is when people talking on their individual agendas, rambling over irrelevant points in the meeting, as in they're talking a lot, but not to the point things and surrounding IFRS 17 on different topics that are not very relevant, and people are not focusing on the bigger picture of the event. Now, what is the bigger picture of the event? Bigger picture of the event is that you are implementing a solution. You should get the numbers out of that solution, and that numbers should make sense. And honestly, numbers, making sense of numbers in IFRS 17 implementation is a very challenging part in itself. It takes a lot of iterations, it takes a lot of data revisions, so that you have to keep in mind that it is going to be an iterative process. So it should be the focal point of every meeting in IFRS 17 implementation that is happening during that project. But what happens is people will be talking about, let's say, finance team will be worried about how accounts are prepared. IT personnel will be worried about that how UAT testing is to be conducted. So everyone is talking about their own deliverables, individual deliverables, not focusing on the bigger picture. So that is one thing that is going to be a problem. So there is going to be a lot of noise, as in a lot of noise, and what you have to do as project management manager is that you have to ignore that noise and you have to compose the music of IFRS 17 implementation. How you're going to do that? You have to gather all the relevant points from meetings that are happening during that phase of project management and IFRS 17 implementation. And you have to, after gathering those points, you have to make sure that how those points are helping you to your helping you to take you to the bigger picture of the event. And bigger picture of the event, I would reiterate, is to make sense out of IFRS 17 numbers that are driven from the solution.
What you should do as project manager for the smooth sailing of the project.
You need to have regular catch-ups with the clients, document all the minutes of meetings, prepare a project plan for implementation, try to track that plan at each meeting if possible, assign tasks with responsibilities and names to people. So, as in a worst case scenario, if let's say blame game starts, you should have enough documentation to show everyone that what is the reason for failure of the project. So you have sufficient information documented that you're able to tell a storyline of the project's life cycle.
In the end, please tell us few key points to remember for successful IFRS 17 implementation.
In summary, there are three key points for a successful IFRS 17 implementation. I'm raising my three fingers so that I can tell one by one each of them so that you can remember what are those 3 points. One is that how each company will prepare the data for IFRS 17. Two is how that data is to be transformed into the way inputs are required for the solution of IFRS 17. And third one is how to interpret the results and how to make sense out of it. Trust me, everything else will settle down with time. Thank you.